An author has teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Tiffany Carlin with Nona Reed here on JoCo Vibes on JoCo Community Radio. It's a beautiful, beautiful Fat Tuesday, primary election day, all in one.
Yes.
And somewhat of a first sign of spring, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, woke up to
72 today.
Yeah,
right?
woke up to 38 and it's gonna get up to 72. So it's voting day here in not just Texas, but across many states.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So just pray that everybody gets out there and exercises their right to vote. Primaries are really important, especially on the local level of elections, because your voice is more powerful on the local level than it is on the national level. And so you got to get out there and vote.
Yep. It starts here.
Yes.
At your local level, people, you got to be involved, got to know what's going on.
So we're going to
exercise your right.
Yeah. You have to get some exercise.
Yeah.
By the way, because now it's election day. So you have to go to your precinct voting location here in Johnson County. and in Tarrant County or whatever
Sorry.
county you're in. What?
I was laughing
No, that
at
was
you,
me.
laughing for those who couldn't see.
And I
Just
can't
laughing
see.
at you.
Trying to get my glasses, and they're getting tangled up into the earbuds. So we do have some voter information for you that we're going to share, but being that it's Tuesday and it's our first day of JoCo Vibes for the week, wanted to share our word for the week. And I have to tell you, just everything that we've been talking about on some of the other shows and just, just amongst friends and conversations, last week's word was authority. And
I thought that was this week.
that was last week's. I just made you read it again because
because I
because
needed
we
it.
hadn't read the whole. Well, we hadn't read the whole thing because when we get on air, we usually jump on and do the whole thing. So this week's word is transformation, which is also
that's right. We did talk about that.
also super powerful, and I read it last night. So I actually had. I'm like trying to read it the night before now, so I had the full understanding before I share just the tip that it is. But transformation. Those who drink the water I give will never be thirsty again. It becomes a fresh, bubbling spring within them, giving them eternal life. John 4:14. And the focus tip is this week. Focus on how God is transforming you through every circumstance, every relationship, every detail of your life. Keep your eyes open and get ready to be amazed. Bam. Is that not just all like falling into line from, starting with leadership training last week and, and just the diving deeper into things that we're looking into so that we can obviously keep growing as good human beings. And I just thought that was just kind of drove it home.
Yes.
So even more, right?
Sorry,
Can I
I
have
moved
my
that.
coffee back.
Well,
thanks.
You
I know
had
you
the
were
book
keeping
going,
me.
and I was like, "Ooh,
She talks with her hands and knocks people's wine
I
over.
do too, so I understand." So,
thank you for Starbucks this morning.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
My son actually got up really early today, but we had used all the milk and cooking dinner last night, and I thought, I'll go get it tomorrow. Then I was like, he doesn't get up that early. I'll just wait till after the show. Then he comes out, and I'm like, good morning, sunshine.
So what did you
So
what did you cook last night? First of all, what did you cook last night that you used up all the milk?
Well, there wasn't much milk, but so I did a chicken with some seasonings, and then I did the pastaroni. It was like the garlic
creamy,
and garlic and
cream
herb
sauce,
angel hair pasta.
Oh, yum.
And yes, it took milk. And actually I was just a little bit short of what I needed to really have the right amount, but I made it and it was okay. I think it still needed that little bit more. But then I got lazy last night and didn't want to go to the store. So this morning when he woke up, I was like, well, darn it. So I had to run and go get him milk. So he had his cereal. And so I was like, well, do you want something else also? And he's like, the Starbucks line isn't too far back, Mom. Will you go? I was like, okay. So
could you imagine? Hey, morning. Good morning, Joey. My cousin Joey is joining.
Good morning.
From Cali. They're on to their next location. They've left Southern California, and now I think they're in near Sonoma, right? You'll have to answer me, Joey. I don't have your spreadsheet of your road trip
headed
on.
North.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. We need to have you guys on so we can.
They should come on periodically.
No, we talked about that. I'm gonna.
On their adventure.
I want to have them back on so that we can catch up with where they are. And I'm sorry, I'm getting some information. Okay. Yep. Sorry, I'm getting information. I'm sorry. Breaking news. So anyway, so it's election day. And let's talk about these primaries that are going on. You have primary voting for Democrat and for Republican. There might be some for any, smaller parties. I just didn't look into them. I just looked into the two main ballots. If you're voting in the Republican primary, there are propositions that I know Nona's done some research on, and we're going to talk about. those same propositions are not on the Democratic ballots.
Right. Correct.
So two totally different ballots depending on which primary you're voting in. And again, the most important thing is if you are getting out to vote, you need to look at your new voter registration card that you got in the mail, because precincts did shift.
Yes.
And that's your voting precinct. So it's different than your commissioner precinct, because you're going to, on the ballot is
you have to actually, if I've studied this right, because I wanted to make sure I was going to the right spot, you have to use the voting and your commissioner precinct to kind of
No. So your commissioner, man, if I had the GI, I have
Well,
some graphics.
and I just realized my computer needs plugged in, so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to go to it.
So there's a really great tool on the Johnson County elections, or actually the commissioner precinct website, and it's a GIS map. It's interactive.
Right.
Anyone can use it. Anyone can activate it. And I've actually was talking with one of our commissioners about adding another layer feature, and he is discussing that. So hopefully we will get that. And we've also discussed too how confusing it can be for people who are voting or just looking at their voter registration card when they see the word precinct in multiple places, because it's your commissioner precinct and then it's your voting precinct. So I'm actually talking with the county.
Commissioner precinct, there's only 4.
Right. There's only 4 commissioner precincts, and then your voting precinct is within your commissioner precinct.
Right. That's kind of what I meant when I said that.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So
I didn't mean to throw that. I said it wrong.
But that's the part that's very confusing.
And I have been doing a lot of studying on that. And of course, I still messed it up trying to say it. Because last time in the primary, I actually went to where I normally vote and then realized I was in the wrong spot and had to do some research and find out. And of course, it's the same place that it was last time for me. But I've actually been doing that kind of research for my older children and my niece and nephew, my niece and her husband. So they'll get out and vote today, and they don't have any excuses. Look, I've, we've talked about some of the candidates. Here's where you need to go vote. Go vote.
So it's really interesting.
And I was asked already. School board election is not till May.
It's not till
I was
May.
asked already that this morning. Someone asked, so that it's still a ways. We'll talk about that more later, but that is not today.
Right. No, it is not today. The BISD, Burleson Independent School District,
And the city
bond have jointly. It's a joint election in May.
Right.
So that will be combined together, and we'll start to share more information, early voting locations, and election day for that. So interesting enough, when I went to the Johnson County GIS and mapping, where you can get your layers of the commissioner precincts and the voting precincts, if you download and save it, it actually is listed as Johnson County voting districts. So that was actually the discussion we were having, is why doesn't it say it on your voting card? It says it on the map, voting districts.
Yes.
But why doesn't it needs to say that on the card, so that people understand this is your voting district, which is located within your commissioner precinct. And so there are several commissioners that are up for election and re-election on the ballot. So just going to kind of I'm going to run through the Republican ballot of who's running and what they're running for. And then I'm going to let you talk about the propositions, because you researched them and I did not. I didn't have time. So I was kind of relying on you before I go and vote today.
That is okay.
What I'm going to do. Oops, that may have given away which primary I'm voting in this year. Because I am a true independent. I am not voting. I do not ever vote for straight party on anything. And
it's important. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. It really is important for you to get out and
vote.
For the primary too.
In the last election, I voted in the Democratic primary. This time I'm voting in the Republican primary. It doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. It just shows you that
You can be both.
you can literally be a true independent.
Yes.
And vote for the people or for the item that's important to you. There was another
Right.
word I was looking for, but I couldn't pull it out of my brain. So I'm going to start on the local level. Actually, I'll start on the federal side. So Roger Williams, United States Representative, District 25, he's unopposed.
Mhm.
For governor, you have, if you have not been paying attention,
A lot.
I don't know what, I don't know where
really
you've been.
hate to say this. There's way too many.
There is a lot of
I'm
people
sorry.
running. Greg Abbott obviously is running for re-election. Rick Perry, which is not
Mhm.
former Governor Rick Perry.
Right. A lot of people are. I've even seen that recently on someone's post. They go,
He's running
Rick
again?
Perry? Why is he running again? And I was like,
It's
oh,
not him.
gosh.
It's not him. It's someone running off of his name.
Right.
Chad Prather, Candy Cake Horn, which is so hard to believe that that's her real name. Paul,
Cute little redhead, by the way,
Yes,
if you
she
haven't
is.
looked her up.
She is. Paul Ballou, Don Huffines, Danny Harrison, and Alan B. West. That is who's running for governor when you go vote today. If you have not done your research yet on these people, please do. Please
And
go
we
do your
did try
research.
to reach out to a lot of them.
Yes.
They are a little more busy than the local
Right.
or
And
but-
Alan did try, and Greg Abbott actually tried too, and Chad.
Mhm. Chad's also fighting the battle of being censored on Facebook too. So right at the election time.
I don't know much about him,
Zuckerberg
so
again.
you talk to him. Lieutenant Governor, you have Zach Vance, Aaron Sorrells, Daniel Miller, Dan Patrick, of course, is running for re-election, Todd Bullis, and Tracy Bradford. Again, do your research. You have until 7:00 tonight to vote. So you've got plenty of time. If you have not researched, I talked to the two girls who were cleaning my house yesterday, and I said, "Are you guys going out and voting? Have you voted yet?" And she said, "No, I just feel wrong that I should go vote and just pick someone randomly when I haven't done my research. And then what if my one vote changes that and I pick the wrong person?" And I said, "Okay, well, you still have time to educate yourself on it." And so there's just still this whole group of people that are not educating themselves, and they just don't get involved. So, and they don't know that they have that power,
And you know
by
what?
the way.
And my sister and I actually had this talk, and I will say it was about the governor race. Someone her and I support. I would love to see him be on that ballot, but I'm not quite sure if he will win the primary. And so I was like, gosh, I'm afraid
Is it Rick
because
Perry? Tell me the truth. Just kidding.
No. And my thing is, as I was worried because, this is kind of an important situation because, of course, we don't want to lose, especially being a red state. We don't want to lose our red state. And so I'm like, it's important who we end up making the primary candidate, And my sister and I were talking, and she said, we were talking more than likely Abbott's probably going to be back on the ballot again.
I heard somebody else say that too.
And she said, and don't get me wrong, I like Abbott, just don't feel like he did things strong enough. And I think he waited too long to be tough guy. But I hear from someone who does work with his campaign that I don't know if she works with his campaign, but she knows him. Anyway, he said he knows he made that mistake. So, but she's like, I'm going to vote for the person we think should be. And if he doesn't get it, we at least know, more than likely he might be on the ballot again.
I think that's so. Personally, the way I look at it is I do not vote for a candidate that I believe can win to keep or turn a state one color or the other. I vote for the person who I think is right for it. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But that's how I vote. I mean, everybody else can vote how they want to. But
I agree too. But I also look at some of these and I'm like, I'm not quite sure. Well, one to me is still a very long politician. Well, so has Abbott, I know. But and then another one, I like him, but I don't think he's going to be strong enough.
Well,
And
that's where you just
so
have to.
that's where I
You're
feel
torn.
very torn. Where the one I do want is very vocal, which some might say he's too vocal. Well, he'll stand up. Now, will he make mistakes? Probably. We all will. And not that, I mean, Greg made them too. So
Every elected
yeah,
official makes mistakes.
100% right.
I mean, that's just nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Nobody's perfect. So
but definitely get out there, even if you're not 100% sure. Do a little research and then go with your gut instinct.
there you go. That's it. So, Attorney General. On the ballot for Attorney General is Ken Paxton for reelection, George P. Bush, Louis.
Which is the current General Land Commissioner.
Yes.
Just to let y'all
Thank
know.
you. So glad you said that. Louis Gomert, and I think I'm saying his name right. Eva Guzman.
Mhm.
I saw a commercial about her this morning that.
Or did you?
Well,
I haven't.
I liked her, and I don't dislike her. I don't
Mhm.
mean it like that, but I was considering her because of some things I saw, and then I saw something that where she's pushing for an app for kids to put an app on kids' phones. I don't know if this is true, so this is just a quick commercial, and I did not research it. So, and it is something I want
Wanna
to
research
research very quickly to see if there's
before
truth
you
to
make
it
your
or not.
decision.
Right. I'm not saying that that's who I was going to vote for, but she was somebody I maybe would
Yeah.
be considering.
Mhm.
And so the app is and supposedly an app that she wants to put on kids' phones so that they can learn what their um bias, their oh gosh, the word's going to come to me. It's going to take like 5 minutes, and then I'll have to come back to
I
it.
haven't heard it, so I have
It's
no
it's
idea
a
where you're
commercial I
going.
just saw this morning when I was watching the news, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Does it have
interesting.
to
I
do
hadn't
with
heard about
gender
that."
thing?
Not gender.
Okay.
It's race bias. There we go.
To find out if they're racist?
What their race okay, I'm going to look it up while we're talking, okay?
Okay.
Cuz now I'm saying it wrong.
Well, you
and-
can look it up during when I'm doing the propositions.
Okay, all right. It was
don't forget.
just interesting. So anyway, Attorney General Eva Guzman, Louis Gohmert, George P. Bush, and Ken Paxton is running for reelection. Comptroller of Public Accounts, Glenn Hagar and Mark V. Gullaby.
Glenn is currently the comptroller.
He's running for reelection.
Mhm.
Yeah. Commissioner of the General Land Office.
Which was currently George P. Bush.
Right, but since he's running, he
Yeah,
gives up, he
yeah.
forfeits his seat. Weston Martinez, oh my gosh, Rufus Lopez, Don W. Minton, Ben Amenta, Dawn Buckingham, Victor Avila, Tim Wesley, and John Spears are on the ballot for
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my research
Commissioner.
on that one.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Commissioner of Agricultural is James White, Sid Miller, obviously. Carrie A. Council are running. Railroad Commissioner Marvin Sarge Summers, Wayne Christian, Dwayne Tipton, Sarah Stogner, Tom Slocum Jr. Man, I'm butchered some names. I can tell you that. Justice
Names are
Supreme
so hard.
Justice of the Supreme Court place 3. Deborah Lehman is running unopposed. Justice Supreme Court place 5. Rebecca Huddle is running unopposed. Justice Supreme Court place 9. David J. Schenck is running against Evan Young. And then we have in our last little run here. Okay, Judge Court of Criminal Appeals place 2. It doesn't. Mary Keel is running. She's unopposed. She's running unopposed. I'm sorry. It's got on the sample ballots.
Right.
It's part of it's covered up, so it's hard to read. Judge Court of Criminal Appeals place 5. Clinton Morgan is running against Scott Walker. Judge Court of Criminal Appeals place 6. Jesse McClure is running unopposed. Member State Board of Education District 14. This is super, super important. And this is also confusing because Evelyn Brooks is showing up on the District 14 ballot, not on District 11.
Well, she's District 14.
Oh, she's District 14.
But that's weird because I pulled my sample ballot.
And yours came up District 11.
Mine pulled up District 11.
Oh, so I must have an old one. Can I see that one? Because you've got something different on yours. Okay.
I'm a little confused again.
Well, when did you pull yours? Because I pulled mine yesterday.
I just did too.
So,
But mine was for precinct 5 or voting place, voting district 5 for precinct 2.
Member Board State of Education, District 11.
I thought I was 14.
So I have.
And when I did some research, I pulled up in the 14.
So it's.
And I want to vote for Evelyn.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry.
are. So on mine, it's District. It shows District 14.
But
I you know what I did? I pulled yours, and I think you have mine. But
how? But
okay, Evelyn Brooks is running on for District 14 against Sue Melton Malone.
right,
That is correct. That's what I have.
right.
Okay. You pulled your wrong voting district.
Again,
Yes, you did.
confusing
It is completely
because
confusing.
it was right under.
Do you have your voter card with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. So you are State Senate District 10, Commissioner Precinct 2, and your voting precinct is 5.
Right.
So
let me go over to.
So this is and man, we're
This is
gonna
what
break this down for
This
people
is
too.
what we're talking about.
Well, this
is where people get confused, and then
Imagine-
there's so many people to remember. And by
Okay.
the way, we need to talk about cheat sheets and how you bring a cheat sheet in.
you can bring a cheat sheet in.
I know, but people really don't know that.
Yeah, you could bring
You
a piece
just
of paper
have
in.
to keep it in your pocket so others cannot see who you're voting for, because
Right.
that's campaigning
Right, until you get into your little
your little
private booth.
cubby.
Speaking of the voter registration card, could you, because of how confusing it is for people,
Mhm.
right? Now you can go to your county website and there is a sample, and we're going to pull it up after the
Right.
break to show you an explanation of it. But if you go and look at, let's say, El Paso, a county in El Paso's voter registration card, their Senate district and their U.S. representative and their commissioner precincts, they're all in different places. So it's not uniform across the state, right? So imagine being a legal immigrant who does not speak great English, but you're a
Right.
legal immigrant
Right.
and you leave El Paso and you have voted according to the way your card is.
Right.
And you move somewhere else in Texas, let's say to
No.
Johnson County,
Right.
and now your
It'll-
voter registration card looks completely different.
Uh-huh.
Who do you reach out to, and how many
We're
people?
confused.
Right. Could you imagine how
Right.
confusing that is? So
Right.
why are we not uniform
So
across the state?
on here,
There's reasons why, and I understand.
so I
that,
would
but-
look. I would have done the sample ballot style too, because precinct number 5.
right. So which one do you have?
I think I did the first one,
Yeah. So this is
and that's something I think I toyed with yesterday, and then I accidentally, let's see, state senator. Yep. There's her. There's Evelyn.
yeah. Now,
Sorry.
if you are in a portion of Burleson that is in Tarrant County, you're not voting for District 14.
Right.
You are still a part of the Tarrant County School
right.
District for your state board representative. So really need to pay attention to that because it's shifted. All of Johnson County is District 14. So you'll be voting for Evelyn Brooks
Right.
or Sue
But
Melton.
if you live in Tarrant County,
it's District 11.
it's District 11 for the
Correct.
school board.
Correct.
And that Josh Tarby, he was going to come on, but because of the ice and stuff, he wasn't
Right.
able to. So he is the only one that reached out to us of the board of the candidates. I
Right.
just want to make that noted, because look, if they've reached out, and I will tell you, if they were on here, if they were on here, every one of them reached out. I mean,
Right.
I sent a message or whatever, and they responded. If they weren't on here, it was probably because they didn't respond back to me, because I sent a message to them.
Right.
So
So
I think that's just important to
some
know.
of that we need to go off of that sheet and not the voter and not the sample
Right.
ballots, because there are people running for
Everywhere.
office in
I know.
different commissions,
Mhm.
and each one of your ballots is going to be different based on which commissioner
But
precinct
we need.
you're in.
I'm thinking this is good for us to have this conversation on, though.
Yeah,
because people need to understand
yeah.
that.
So when we return, we're going to talk about who's running for state senator district 10 in the Republican primary, because things have changed.
Yep.
We've been talking about it for weeks. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night. Every Saturday night.
Look.
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I just
Mom.
wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I would rather have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love
girl.
you.
I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom. Love you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered. When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Sorry.
Get your hand off of that.
Oh, we did it again. I'm going to take my hand off.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know you were driving. I didn't know you were driving. I'm so sorry.
Drivers. They're going to crash.
Welcome back to the second half of JoCo Vibes here on JoCo Community Radio.
You want
can
me to
read
do
it?
it? Well,
Yeah.
I figured you were
It's
trying
in
to
your
do
hand. Go
something. We are proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and we are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen, go to the tuneinjoco.com and download the free app. We're in Android's we're about to have our own app.
We already have
Android.
the Android, but it's I haven't loaded it because I was trying to wait for the iOS one to be
okay.
done too.
And then we're
which is
working on that.
done. I just have to answer a few questions and then
Awesome.
then they'll launch that too.
That'll make it so much easier.
Yeah.
Also.
Yep. And it goes
Um,
right to our radio station. I mean, you'll still be able to listen to us on the TuneIn Radio Network
Mhm.
as well. But we're trying to make it as easy as possible for people
Right.
to download and listen to us all day long.
But all of our shows can be found on any of your favorite podcast platforms, such as Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and Spreaker. You can just when you go in there, look for the show name, not JoCo Community Radio. Check out our lineup and more on the JoCoCommunityRadio.com. Thanks for tuning in. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HELL. That's 844-839-4245.
Oh, you're so good. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tiffany Carlin with Nona Reed. We're still here. and talking about the sample ballots. If you're voting in the Republican primary, Nona's going to catch you up on what some of the propositions are that are on the ballots. It's sad that nobody talks about it and doesn't explain it. So it's really,
Yeah, because it can be confusing when you go to.
but on the
vote.
local, I want to finish the really quick local Johnson County elections candidates. For county judge, Michael Mizell, Dwayne Golding, Christopher Bedecker, and John C. Harmon. Note that John C. Harmon is not John Harmon, who is
Actually, it's Roger Harmon. He's actually going by the last name.
Right. He's playing off of Harmon. Sorry, you're right.
Yes.
Roger Harmon. Roger Harmon is stepping down. John C. Harmon, pretty sure he's just running off the name. We haven't been able to reach out to him. He's tried. I'm connected with him on LinkedIn somehow, but it just is what it is. But Christopher Bedecker, Dwayne Golding, Michael Mizell for county judge. So if you live in Johnson County, you will be voting for this. And if you haven't tuned in here yet, you can go back and look at the replays. We've had Dwayne, Michael, and Christopher have all joined us at the table. We wish you guys the best of luck. County, there's several positions that are not running opposed, so I'm not going to go through those. County clerk, April Long is running against Will Keaton for county clerk. April Long has been with the office for 8 years already and was trained by Becky, who is leaving the office, and Will is currently a bailiff in one of the courts. So again, if you live in Johnson County, this will be on your ballot.
Of course, both been on too. So
yes, they both join us, and we wish you guys the best of luck. County Commissioner Precinct 4, Mark Eder is running against Larry Woolley. Larry Woolley is running for re-election. And so that's precinct 4. Got to know what precinct you're in. We'll touch on that here again in just a minute. And then Justice of the Peace Precinct 3. You have Wes Powell, Andy Nolan, and Shay Spann.
Shay Spann, I never heard from.
We never heard from Shay Spann, but Andy Nolan and Wes Powell have both joined us here at the table. We wish you guys the best of luck today. Again, if you guys haven't researched, go back and look for those. It's so important to get to know the candidates before you get out and vote. You have till 7:00. It really does give you some time.
Right.
If you've got some last minute questions, they all have websites. They all have Facebook pages. We've listed them all when we interviewed them. We don't have a lot of time to put that all back in there today for you, but if you're listening on the radio, I mean, it's a press of a few keys on the keyboard, and if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, they're all there.
Right.
You can check them all out there. We wish all of you the best of luck today, who are running in the that's the Republican primary. I know you're going to talk about
the propositions,
but let me just go through the Democratic Party primary election for Johnson County. There are not too many on here, and there's no propositions on the Democratic one. For governor, Michael Cooper, Inocencio, I can't see it under the, I don't know why they put the sample ballot underneath it. Well, I mean, I kind of do. Beto O'Rourke, Joy Diaz, Inocencio, which is, is how he goes by, Barrientos, and Michael Cooper. Lieutenant Governor, you have Michelle, I'm sorry, I'm having such a hard time scrolling down. Michelle Beckley, Carla Braley, and Mike Collier. Attorney General, you have Lee Merritt, Mike Fields, Rochelle Mercedes Garza, S. T-Bone Rayner, and Joe Jaworski. Comptroller of Public Accountants, Janet T. Dudding, Tim Mahoney, and Angel Luis Vega. Commissioner of the General Land Office, Michael Lang, Jay Kleberg, Sandra Grace Martinez, and Ginny Sue. And Democratic Commissioner 3, which is precinct number 7, 8, 10, 11, 35, 41, 42, and 43. And again, this will be on your ballot. And it didn't actually, it's not showing, it cut it off. So I can't tell you who's running for that. And then one other position that is running unopposed, Commissioner of Ag, Susan Hayes and Ed Erison. The rest of the positions on the Democratic ballot. Oh, I'm sorry, County Chair Kat Sanders is running for reelection against Linda Brown, and that's your Democrat. That's one sample ballot. So I just gotta go in, and you got to pay attention to what's going on, and you have to pay attention to what your precinct is. So, what do you have for propositions on the primary ballot?
Okay. So people completely understand because propositions, I think, throw people off. Keep in mind, this is just an opinion poll, and you're not actually voting to make this a law. So you're merely saying yes, you agree, or no, you don't agree. Okay. So the first one is, in light of federal government's refusal to defend the southern border, Texas should immediately deploy the National Guard, Texas military forces, and necessary state law enforcement to seal the border, enforce immigration laws, and deport illegal aliens. So if you agree that we should send National Guard, Texas military forces, etc., then you say yes. If you don't, you say no. So just that, keep that in mind when you're reading these and you're listening to me. So when you go to vote today, Texas should eliminate number 2. Texas should eliminate all property taxes within 10 years without implementing a state income tax. If you agree, yes. If you don't, no.
Look, and that comes down to if you agree that property taxes in the state of Texas should be gone within 10 years, but you don't think the answer is no state tax.
Still, you want to say yes then.
Well,
because you do feel like it still needs to be eliminated.
But if you don't fully agree with the statement, then you say no. And that's where you have to be smart about it. Because again, this isn't putting something into law. It's a proposition. So if you don't fully agree with the statement, don't say yes. Unless one is more important to you than the other.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Number 3, Texans should not lose their job, nor should students be penalized for declining a COVID-19 vaccine.
You just have to answer yes or no as to what you agree with.
Again, this is just an opinion poll. Texas schools should teach students basic knowledge and American
expectancies.
Exceptionalisms, and reject critical race theory and other curricula that promote Marxist doctrine and encourage division based on creed, race, or economic status. So if you want it back to us teaching basic knowledge and American expectations, you're going to say yes. Okay. You got to be careful how you read these. Texas should enact a state constitutional amendment to defend the sanity of innocent human life created in the image of God from fertilization until natural death. Number 6, the Republican-controlled Texas legislature should end the practice of awarding committee chairmanships to Democrats. Number 7, that's probably why it's not on the Democrat. Sorry, I had to laugh right there.
Can you read that one again?
It said the Republican-controlled Texas legislature should end the practice of awarding committee chairmanships to Democrats. Number 7, Texas should protect the integrity of our election by verifying that registered voters are American citizens, restoring felony penalties, and enacting civil penalties for vote fraud, and fight any federal takeover of state elections and city. Sorry. Number 8, Texas should ban chemical castration, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and genital mutilation surgery on all minor children for sex transition purposes. That's a strong one there.
That is. It's really hard to not have these conversations as you're reading them.
I know.
I really want to, but I want to bring some experts on to talk about some of these after the elections.
Number 9, Texas parents and guardians should have the right to select schools, whether public or private, for their children, and the funding should follow the student.
I will straight up answer that one right now.
Yes, yes, and yes.
My
Coming
tax
from
dollars,
a parent who just
Yep. My tax dollars should go where I want them to go.
And number 10, Texans affirm that our freedoms come from God and that the government should have the government should have no control over the conscience of individuals.
That's a lot to digest.
Yes, it is.
So I think if you're voting in the Republican primary, you're going to be
the preposition.
You got to look
first.
at them first. It doesn't matter. However long you're in the booth and however long it takes you to really read them and digest them.
Some of them might want to kind of look a little into what they're. I don't know.
I mean, I think almost every one of these has been very out in the public and in the news and very widely discussed. So, So we just encourage you to go vote.
Yes.
I mean, this is it. This is your day for, this is the day. It's the last day. Been talking about it for weeks. I think everybody has. I will say this, watching the national news this morning, and it's the first 2 hours of it that I watch. And I'll just say what I watch the Today Show, and it's because I'm not looking for just news. I am looking for entertainment and just everything that's going on. And they tend to talk about everything, but I never once heard them talk about it being primary election day. The ads were running in between, but they never talked about it. I found that really interesting. Good morning, Deborah. Thanks for joining us this morning. I just found that really interesting. And I don't know if I don't think I missed it because I tend to use my phone in the morning because I'm in the bathroom getting ready. And so when I walk from the kitchen or back and forth, I'm carrying it with me. So, so I just found that really interesting. So I want to, if you guys are watching, if you're watching on social, I am going to pop a couple of graphics up so you can see the difference. First of all, this is let me move the caption. This is a sample of your voter registration card for Johnson County, and it
still looks a little different than what mine does.
Yeah, a little bit, right? But at least it explains to you, what each thing is. It's not very clear. I'm actually going to create one for my own voter registration card. And obviously block out some information. So, but to give you a clearer picture of it, but that precinct 19, where it shows you that 19, this is your precinct and your polling precinct. This is your voting district, which is located inside your commissioner precinct.
Correct.
Okay. Some people have this question as to why it redistricts. Here's why it redistricts. Each voting district can have no more than 5,000 voters.
Correct.
That's why we have so many. Oops, I'm in the wrong spot here. That's why we have so many precincts. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in Johnson County. It's small. I'm sorry, but at least give you an idea. You got a lot of precincts. Those red lines outline all your different precincts. Okay. And that's because, and they have to shift and they have to add more because of, you can only have 5,000 voters within a voting district within your commissioner precinct. And there are only 4 precincts. You can have no more than 45,000 registered voters within a precinct. Don't quote me on the registered part. I just know that it's 45,000. I'm pretty sure Larry Woolley explained it as 45,000 voters. If he's tuning in, he can correct me or tell me I'm right. So this is the precinct. If you're watching online, again, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, you can see this on screen right now, how the precincts are broken out. There is a GIS map that I'm going to share the link to where you can actually put that in there. And then also, in fact, if you can you pull up, can you add that link? Oh no, you're not logged in.
Just
on that.
Putting the voting precinct?
Put it in the put in the GIS map into Google Chat to me, and then I'll post it. And then also
this is it.
There's another really easy place to see who's on your ballot. I've shared this before. I have a feeling I may
You
have
want me to
posted it.
send the link? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, to the GIS map
Okay.
screen. Or is it just, you know what? I have that page open that you're looking at right there. I just didn't, I was looking at it down. There it is. It's right here.
You just have to push on the side.
It's the interactive maps.
Yeah, the interactive map. So this is a good way to start. Also, is
got it.
leave it as I think it comes up as your county precinct first,
and you have to look at
and
your.
then you can then click to the left where it says voting precinct, and then you get all the other little. So the first thing you want to determine is where your precinct, your actual precinct is. Are you 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Right.
And then from there, you have to figure out where's your voting precinct. And I think in here you can actually put your address, and it'll kind of pop up, and you can kind of see too.
Yeah, I think there is something where you can do that. So I'll let you.
Yes.
I'll let you work on that.
Yes.
While I explain that a little bit more. Also, you have to pay attention to.
And it actually tells me who my justice of the peace is, my precinct
Commissioner.
is, and my commissioner.
Okay, so you did find.
Yeah.
You can search by address, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And then if you kind of, after you do that, it clicks on and sees your stuff, and then you can kind of scroll back out some, and then you can kind of see your voting precinct.
Are you in the interactive map or the interactive precinct map?
I'm in the interactive Johnson County precinct interactive map.
Okay. Okay.
So you can push count onto the left where you can do your layers. You can do county and voting, and that's what I've done.
Yeah. So you can.
It helps kind of figure out where.
It doesn't matter which one you click on is the point. You can still change the layer from county to
Right.
voting. And again, they have it listed in here as voting precinct, but then when you download the picture of it,
it's
voting district. So, and I wish they would change that. We talked about that with Larry
Mhm.
Woolley, and hopefully he gets that on into a meeting with the commissioner's court to, and I'm not even in his precinct, but that's, I mean, he was so helpful.
Yeah,
with
he
this,
was.
and they're looking to possibly add another layer to this that will be even more helpful to people, because it becomes so confusing and people need to understand. That's another thing to really pay attention to too, is that we are now part of Senate District 10. So, you know, just if you're questioning that when you get your ballot's correct. We are now part of Senate District 10. So, again,
Which Republicans are Warren Nord and Phil King.
Correct.
And then the Democrat is Beverly
Powell running for re-election. But the whole district has shifted. So,
right.
Anyway, it's Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. Fun time.
Yeah.
We went from serious to fun.
Yeah. Well, we have to. I mean,
right?
I mean, we gotta talk about it. But it's Fat Tuesday.
Don't call me fat.
Right?
How rude.
That's how I feel this morning.
I know, right?
So for those that don't know what Mardi Gras is, it's French. Mardi Gras is French for Fat Tuesday. It dates back to an ancient Roman festival honoring the deities Lupercalia, and I'm butchering that, and Saturnalia, which took place in mid-February. When Christians arrived in Rome, they incorporated the festival into Lenten preparations. So Lent's beginning. So it's let's party down, and then we have to give up all the stuff that we just,
consume everything before you have to give it up.
Right. So here are 9 things you may not have known about Mardi Gras. So yeah, we're totally shifting, because I mean, we have to. You can't just talk just politics. Oops, let me go back. I'm scrolling and things are getting in my way. Get out of here. Mardi Gras and Carnival are the same celebrations. So though Mardi Gras technically refers only to Fat Tuesday, the Mardi Gras season actually begins on Epiphany, which is where my name is derived from. Did you know that? Tiffany is derived from the word Epiphany. Yes. A Christian holiday, just a little.
Now I'm going to start going, I got a Tiffany.
Yeah, right? A Christian holiday celebrated on January 6th that is otherwise known as Three Kings Day, or the 12th day of Christmas. In Brazil and many other countries, this period between Epiphany and Fat Tuesday is known as Carnival. Carnival. Whichever name you prefer to use, the revelries of Mardi Gras last until midnight tonight when Ash Wednesday ushers in 40 days of Lent. So, there you go. That's pretty kind of cool. Number 2, Mardi Gras may or may not have pagan roots. A popular theory holds that Mardi Gras origins lie in ancient pagan celebrations of spring and fertility, such as Saturnalia and Lupercalia. Some experts contend, however, that Mardi Gras type festivities popped up solely as a result of the Catholic Church's discouragement of sex and meat during Lent. Church reformers may have helped propagate the pagan rumors, these experts say, in the hope of dissuading pre-Lenten hedonism. Interesting.
Very interesting.
I would see it kind of crossing over either way. Number 3. New Orleans did not host the first North American Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is believed to have arrived in North America on March 3rd, 1699, when the French-Canadian explorer Pierre Lemon de la Belleville, sorry, I do not speak French like my aunt, camped about 60 miles downriver from the future site of New Orleans. Knowing it was Fat Tuesday back in France, Iberville named, they cut it down, Iberville named the spot Point du Mardi Gras and held a small gala. A few years later, French soldiers and settlers feasted and wore mass as part of Mardi Gras festivities in the newly founded city of Mobile, present-day Alabama. To this day, Mobile claims to have the oldest annual Mardi Gras celebration in the United States.
Very interesting.
Right? Number 4, Mardi Gras in New Orleans survived early efforts at suppression. Mardi Gras got going in New Orleans soon after the city's founding in 1718. The Spanish, who ruled the Big Easy from 1762 to 1800, apparently cracked down on certain Mardi Gras rituals, though documentation from that period is scarce. U.S. authorities did much the same after taking control in 1803, banning both masked balls and public disguises. I got my own visual. Got like the same thing at the same time. That's ridiculous. How juvenile.
Hey, I taught middle school. I can't help it. It's the middle school brain.
Oh God. It's just
if
me.
you can't beat them, you join them.
I'm so sorry. It's just where my brain goes. Sorry. Number 5, other secrets. I'm not gonna be able to explain all these because we only have 2 minutes left. But number 5, other secret societies quickly followed Comus' lead. In 1872, the crew of Rex and the Knights of Momus began paying for parades and balls of their own. Here's that word again. So, number 6, some crews refuse to racially integrate. Now, if you don't understand what a crew means, you got to go, and it's KREWE. I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans, and you just need to go, you have to go look it up so you understand it. So some crews refuse to racially integrate. This is interesting. Racial exclusion has not been limited to the distant past. In 1992, after an acrimonious debate, the New Orleans City Council passed an ordinance that prohibited crews from discriminating on the basis of race, religion, sexual orientation, or national origin. I believe in that. You should be able to do your crew should be able to do what you want.
Right.
Period. 7, Mardi Gras occasionally gets canceled. Obviously, weather, hurricanes, pandemic, stuff like that. Number 8, the Super Bowl interrupted the 2013 parade schedule. I do remember that. That totally messed stuff up. So they called it Super Gras because of that. Number 9, king cake is only eaten during Mardi Gras. Available only during the Mardi Gras season, king cake is typically made with brioche dough, and it is amazing if you've never had it. It's braided and laced with cinnamon, and the dough is then glazed with purple, green, and gold sugar and covered in icing. That's all I can tell you. We could go into it deeper tomorrow too, and also want to talk about a new documentary on the History Channel called it's about Abraham Lincoln, and we started it last night, and is absolutely amazing. So
Deborah said she heard a snort.
There was a snort. I'm pretty sure it was me. I'm so sorry, and I literally have a tear running down my cheek.
I know.
Thank you guys for
I'm
joining us
sorry.
again. Please go out and vote. Exercise your right to vote this morning. Use your voice. It counts. Have a blessed day. Be kind.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley,
This is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on your son getting into the College